Hi and welcome to session 2. This is hack number 2 in my series of quant hacks. I'm again going to deal with geometry today. So we're going to deal with, I'm going to teach you how to quickly solve questions that involve trigonometry. That's the Trigo hack for today. Quickly, let me tell you about myself. My name is Anand Venkatesan. I'm an engineer and I've done my postgrad from IIM Bangalore. I have about a 10-year experience in CAT training and have seen multiple students get into, thousands of students get into top P schools. Myself, I score 99 percentile in successive years. Do follow us on social media, whether it's on YouTube or on Telegram. Those are the channels shown up on your screen. I'm going to quickly point out my personal channel as well. This is the one that I used to, notify about Unacademy, sessions on YouTube and other places. Do join me there. Okay, let's talk about basic trigonometry. Well, here's what we already know, right? A basic trigonometry problem, one that involves heights and distances, will basically construct a right triangle for you. One of these angles will be known. Let's say this is theta. Then the side opposite it is perpendicular. The side making the angle is base, and the longest side is hypotenuse, right? And based on these three side lengths, you can get these trigonometric ratios: sin theta, cos theta, tan theta as perpendicular by hypotenuse, base by hypotenuse, and perpendicular upon base. And you also need to calculate the value of these trigonometric ratios from this table, right? I'm sure most of you have studied this table at school and remember it most of the way, right? Now, how do I deal with a question? Well, in a heights and distance problem, you will be given, angle of elevation or angle of depression, then it's the angle of theta, and you'll be given one or more lengths in those triangles, and you need to juggle the problem and use trigonometric ratios, right? For example, the only problem is, right, let me consider an example and then explain. Let's say that this is a 30-degree angle, and that the height of the tower is unknown, but you're standing, let's say, 50 meters away from the tower, right? Now the way I'll use trigonometry here is that I'll look at what is unknown, I'll look at what is known, and understand which ratio relates the two of them, right? Perpendicular and base come together in tan theta. So I'll say tan 30 should be equal to perpendicular upon base. That's the unknown perpendicular upon the known base as 50. And tan 30 degrees itself from the table, tan 30 degrees is 1 by root 3. So if I equate this to 1 by root 3, I'll get the length of the perpendicular as 50 upon root 3, right? So this is usually the approach that we take in a trigonometric problem. The only, issue here is that for every heights and distance problem, you're going to have to recall two things. You're going to have to recall the ratio appropriate to be used, and you'll also have to recall the value, right, of that trigonometric ratio, sin theta, cos theta, or tan theta, right? Which can be sometimes, time consuming, and I'm sure some of you also find it a little difficult to recall, right, and use or apply in problems. So how do we circumvent this problem? Well, quite simple. We use some empirical information, right? Empirical मतलब past year papers में अगर आप study करें तो it turns out कि ज़्यादातर questions में, trigonometric questions में दो ही type के right triangles आते हैं. ज़्यादातर क्या? Almost 100% of questions here will only be of two types, right? These two triangle types are the 45-45-90 triangle, right? Or the 30-60-90 triangle. Remember, usually the angle of elevation, the depressions that you deal with will either be 30 degrees, 45 degrees or 60 degrees, and hence these are the only two triangles that you can encounter, right? Okay, that sort of narrows things down for me. I know that it could only be possibly one of these two triangles. Now, what do we learn about these two triangles that will avoid trigonometry and knowing the trigonometric ratio? Well, you need to still memorize something, but it's quite simple, right? Because you can see that, for example, if I start with the triangle on the left, I can see that it's, two equal angles, which means two equal sides. So it's an isosceles triangle, right? Which means if this is x, this is also going to be x. And by using Pythagoras, this will be square root of 2x square, which means x root 2, right? So you know that the sides, the three sides are of length x, x and x root 2, right? Now this can be codified, right, as the ratio of sides. And that's something that I want you guys to commit to memory. Think about it. If I have a 45-45-90 triangle, I should know that the ratio of its sides will be 1 root 2, right? Or x root 2 will be the sides themselves. On the other hand, if if I consider the second triangle 30, 60, 90, similarly you can derive that the sides of this triangle will be in the ratio 1 root 3 and 2. Right? Now it's again the way the ratio is written will tell you what side corresponds to which value corresponds to which side. So 2 is the longest side, so 2x will be the hypotenuse. 1 is the shortest side, that's going to be the one opposite 30 degrees, so 1x. And root 3x will be the third side, x root 3, right? So if I basically remember these ratios, I can quickly derive, the values corresponding to these ratios, x root 2 or x root 3 and 2x, right? Which means that even if you know one of the sides, you can determine all the other sides, right? Because remember, everything is in terms of x. So even if I know a right triangle, even if I know one length, I can quickly determine the other lengths by using the ratio of sides, right? Sounds too good to be true. Let's see how this applies in a problem. Let's understand this in a problem. Simple problem first. A man standing 100 meters away from a tower, okay, he is standing 100 meters away from a tower and he sees the angle of elevation of its top as 30 degrees, है ना? तो ये figure ऐसे बनेगा कुछ 30 degrees away, angle of distance 100 meters, and you want the tower's height, you want the unknown value, tower's length, right, tower's height. Now what I do know about this right triangle is the moment I see 30 degrees, I know this is a right triangle with 30, it will be a 30, 60, 90 triangle. I know ratio of sides is 1 is to root 3 is to 2. I know the side opposite 30 will be 1, so this becomes x, this becomes x root 2 and this becomes, x root 3 and this becomes 2x, right? Now what am I given? I am given 100 meters, which means 100 will correspond to x root 3, which means x will correspond to 100 upon root 3. That's exactly what we wanted, right? Can you see? Ratio directly gives me the answer. I don't need to recall any trigonometric, ratio. I don't need to remember any angles. I don't need to remember any sine, cos, tan. All I need to do is apply this ratio, right? Okay, let's try this one more time. It's a very effective method. Question gets done in 30 seconds, even less sometimes. Here's the question. An angle of elevation of the top of a tower changes from 30 degrees to 60 degrees when a man walks 20 meters towards it, right? Okay, what's the figure going to look like? This is what the triangle is going to look like. The man starts from the point D, observes the top of the tower 30 degrees, moves 20 meters close to it, and then again observes the top of the tower. Angle of elevation is 60 degrees, right? So ABD and ABC are the two right triangles we are considering here, right? So let's consider the two triangles separately, right? Consider ABC, right? If you have ABC, you know the angle is 30 degrees and one of them is 90. So clearly, and we want the tower side, right? So we'll start with, let's say this is x. If the one opposite 30 degrees is x, I know the other two sides will be x root 3 and 2x, right? Because this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? So there you go. I have determined the base BC, okay? Now go for the other triangle, the triangle this one was ABD. The other triangle I'll consider is ABC, right? In triangle ABC, again 90 degrees, you know angle of elevation is 60 degrees. You still know AB is x, right? Now the one opposite 30 degrees is usually x, so let's say that is y. Then the one opposite 60 should be x, root 3 times that, y root 3, right? So we have y root 3 as x, which means y will be x upon root 3, okay? So let's go back to the original figure. I know now that BD, the entire length is x root 3, and I know BC, which was y, we have determined that as x upon root 3, which basically means I can put this together and say x upon root 3 plus 20 should result in x root 3, and you can then solve this linear equation in x, right? X into root 3 minus 1 by root 3 equals 20. Right, taking an LCM, 3 minus 1 is 2. X will become 20 into root 3 divided by 2. That's 10 root 3. So if the man is, has walked 20 meters towards the tower and observes these angles, clearly the tower's height is going to be 10 times root 3. Right? Very, very simple approach. I hope you guys like this approach. I, would really recommend that you practice plenty of questions with this, maybe 4 or 5 questions before you get a hang of how to use the ratios themselves and don't make mistakes. Right? But trust me, this method will definitely save you 30 seconds, if not more, when you are solving these kind of problems, right? As a parting note, keep learning. Unacademy has many such initiatives, right? Do check out the Plus subscription, right? Do check out the app. It helps you with everything. It helps you practice, it helps you attend live classes, it helps you take tests and get on the leaderboard, and much more. All you need to subscribe is to download the app, install it, and once you check the course and you select a subscription plan, remember to use my referral code AV01 because it gives you a 10% discount on any plan that you choose there, right? Remember, Unacademy is a great app for CAT management exams, but also other popular courses. There are plenty of advantages, including free sessions that you can attend in the form of special classes, both by me and by other educators on the Unacademy app, right? So if you want to start your learning journey, I would suggest that you go ahead and do that today. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope this was useful. Do check out my other videos, and I'll keep posting daily hacks on this YouTube channel, right? Thank you. Do like and share this video if you liked it. Do follow my Telegram channels, one for Unacademy and one that is my personal channel, where I post my Unacademy sessions. Anand for Quant is my handle name.